out of order. Hi friends, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, I'm Emily, otherwise known as Shamanism. You can call me anything, just don't call me late for dinner. Great to have you here. I'm a musician, a vibrational healer, an author, an entrepreneur, and a comedian. Welcome, it is so good to have you. And if you're returning, oh, I love you. Mwah. Thank you. Namaste. So I'm starting to think, that I might need to create a whole series and or playlist for this because it seems to be coming up many times as I'm working with language and words and things. And what I'm saying is, I think I may need to create a playlist about the power of words because I did one video about it, then I had another one come through, and I think I've even done a third one about some other words. And there are so many things, y'all. There's no lack whatsoever of strange things that we human beings say that probably we might not to say if we want our lives to go nicely and well. So I guess I may have to create a, the power of words series or playlist or something like that. And when I do, this video will be a part of it. The wording that we're going to be looking at and exploring today is out of order. Now, as you'll probably know already, out of order has two potential meanings. It can mean out of order, like something's broken, like you go to an elevator to take you somewhere and it says out of order, which means it's broken, it's not functioning. What led me to this video, to create this video, is one day I was thinking to myself, but hold on, what about the other way in which we use out of order, which tends to mean out of line and have a connotation of unacceptable. And with that, this is what I wanted to say. I don't know if you've ever had this experience. Honestly, I hope not. I actually have had this experience, kind of strangely enough, and that's why I'm talking about it, because I have the unique experience of these particular words being used towards me in a negative connotation. And that's, again, why I wanted to talk about it here. I have said in my Power of Words video how much words have power. Yes, that seems redundant, and yet it's something that we really do overlook very regularly. Words have immense power, not even just a little bit of power, they have immense power. And what struck me this particular day about out of order was that, I don't know if you've ever been called out of order by anyone, if everyone said, hey, you're out of order, that kind of thing. What I wanted to share is this. What I realized on this particular day was that I had unknowingly, mind you, I had totally passively and subconsciously, I guess, taken from it hasn't happened much in my life, maybe once or maybe at a stretch twice. I've been called out of order in a negative connotation or whatever. And what I found fascinating was that even in that limited experience, that my subconscious brain took some part of that and literally clung onto this idea that I'm broken. So I offer to you that if you've ever said to yourself that you're broken, that to question that, no matter actually the reason that you may have said that to yourself, to question that, because you're not broken, you are perfect. And I really don't mean that lightly. As you are as everyone is, evolving through this life in a pace which is your own and no one else can dictate, learning the lessons in the time that you're meant to live them and learn them. For anyone to call you out of order is not only silly, it's also a little bit ridiculous on like a funny level, because you can't actually be ever out of order. Because at any given moment with the power of choice, we basically, now I know this might stretch some of y'all's brains, including even mine talking about it. I'll try to keep my head on about it. When we make a choice, when we have a choice, that choice then opens up a literal plethora of possibilities. It goes from this into like that, or maybe exponentially more. I don't know, I'm not excellent at math. So for someone to say that you're out of order is comical because you're in exactly the order that your soul needed to take in order to get from the beginning of your life to whatever the end of your life will be. So it is just comedic because there's no such thing as out of order. Oh, and what I was saying, sort of lost my own train of thought there about the paths changing, is that even with that craziness, even with given the fact that your choice in any moment then spirals off into so many more paths and timelines, and each of those is a timeline, there is no such thing as out of order, because it's just choices we make. And dependent upon those choices depends kind of whether we're putting ourselves closer or farther away from the life we really want to have, or perhaps better said, that our higher self, our soul, wanted to experience as a human being on earth. I wanted to give you that reframe, or perhaps just that insight. Out of order is really kind of a ridiculous statement, and something which I invite you to perhaps not say. Instead, say something else, because it doesn't help to call yourself out of order. There is nothing really in the universe that is out of order, because even when something is being destroyed and is in destruction, it's only done so in order to then be reconstructed in order. Because even when something is being destroyed and is in destruction, it's only done so in order to then be reconstructed in order, in perfect divine order which we can't even conceive of. What is it they say in the Matrix? In the Matrix, the Oracle says something to Neo like, what's really going to bake your noodle later on is, would you still have broken it if I hadn't said anything? So I invite you to let me bend your world and bend your mind with my word games, because words, like I said, are super powerful, and you have the choice, as with everything and anything, to allow those words to be used to positively build you up or to tear you down. And that can be, as I think I've explained in this video, very, very subtle or not subtle at all. And either way, you deserve to be free of these crazy wording, binding ties that bind. That's a lot of things, but you know, these words really do have weight, like I said, and power, and can, like chains in a way, bind us. Use your words with intention. And also, I suppose if you're interested in more on this subject, go and check out my video about the power of words. I'll link it at the end, and I'll put it in the description if I remember. Other than that, if you know someone who needs to hear this message, please do share it with them. Subscribe, as that really helps me out as a content creator to get these messages out there to those folks who need to hear them. And last but not least, if you, my beautiful spirit soul, need any support or health coaching, please don't hesitate to reach out at this email address, where it would be my pleasure to serve you in whatever way that I can. Have a beautiful and a blessed rest of your day or night whenever you are seeing this, and I will see you, gorgeous cats, in the next video. Namaste, much love, and stay healthy. Bye. You are, as everyone is, evolving through this life in a pace which is your own. You're in exactly the order that your soul needed to take in order to get from the beginning of your life to whatever the end of your life will be. Like that. But hold on, in the Matrix, this into like, that's a lot of things, but you know, you can't actually be ever out of order.